That is now 25 Ks for Founder Double in 15 innings against the Phillies of Seattle. And I think times you see it, information so far, he's locked in. Tracks really seriously in that first batter, Kyle Schwarber. Last year, maybe he would.
Oh, yes, no, control. I'll.
Sports Center is from his manager. This is one of the most important. So his career was one of the first conversations he had. He's still trying to. He said, "You got a chance to be a big time pitcher. I believe you got."
I don't.
There's number 2.
Foul ball.
The disparity between his slowest pitch and his pitch is pretty dramatic. Because, as I talked about, each hitter kind of gauges the time. They have their own timing methods. When they think they've got something timed and it's by them, that messes with your mind. And it starts becoming cheated. And you think, I have time, but chance. It's messing with all the time. Two to catch him. Seems one and two. He's 7 to show how it's the hardest pitch that he's thrown this year. It's a lot of separation there. With the movement. It's got the velocity today, too.
I know. What the hell is doing game Dutch jumper?
Step off. 19 miles. It's the spread. Between fastball. Slowest pitch.
I know. Now only one problem. And Houston won. 0-2. I mean 2-2.
Sit it on the bounce. Yeah, not going to do this. Tie up. See that upstairs. Middle. They'll chase the through. That's why it's a nice thing. See it right there.
You knew? He's joining me. Come on over from the Pete McDivitt show.
Tie him up.
If you're watching my other stream, welcome in. I got that stream also going with the CNN. Who's winning?
This is
2-2. 2-2, pull down the line. Both innings.
Up higher. Swing and miss. But now he's at least reset him. When I mean by reset him, he's got that area of the pitch up that he went and swung at down the middle. Now a breaking ball off that same height might entice a swing out of the zone here on a 2-2 count. It pitched down to Nick Castellanos. Scoreless 4th inning.
Scoreless 4th inning.
2-2 from Founder Valdez.
Ball on the dirt. 3-2 the count. Next set.
Makes a better break. To swing. But see what I'm saying? Like, that's a guy you put down on your scorecard and go, he doesn't want to walk right. And if he doesn't want to walk, I don't have to throw a lot of strikes. Now, he did get him to 3-2, so he's done something right. That pitch was by far.
I know. And folks, I'll be right back.
He's getting closer to the. Yeah, next year is going to be a total different experience for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's a beast the last couple of years. 34, all 300 last year with the Cincinnati Reds. Only 12 runs in his first 2 games so far this season.
3-2. Sit down, son. Your innings is done. Where the hell was that pitch?
Down to the inside. With a little hesitation and fastball. Definitely off the plate. He's going to go check that iPad. Be verified. An incredible bat and a 5 strikeouts. That's why it's so long time. Patient, have a good take, and it's a strikeout. 2 up, 2 down, 4th inning. Stuck in finish. First pitch was last shot. First pitch here. It's first foot.
Right. To see where.
Right, because the precinct captains also have it neighborhood by neighborhood.
Right.
Precinct by precinct.
They know I'm going to come out of these. That's when you overdo it. That's when it gets a little glitchy when you put too much data. Yes, the precinct captains know exactly where these are. I just want to come back out to it this way and try to come back at it. So 77% of the vote as you come through it. Let's just look at the.
And one of the reasons why we're focusing so much on Congressman Spanberger's district is that it really is going to be, I think, a bellwether for what happens tonight. It is, of the 3 congressional districts, it's the one that we don't know really what's going to happen, and well, we don't know in any of them.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle is the best way to put it.
Right.
So the Wexton
is generally favored
18-point Democratic district, right? And you see Uncow winning in some of the counties here too, further out. As you move out a little bit, we're still waiting for votes here. But yeah, you have an 18-point Democratic district there where the Democrat is leading. Then you come down here, and it's a 7-point Democratic district, and you have the Republican ahead. Again, Florida, the Republicans are holding their +7 district here in Virginia at the moment.
Right.
They're on defense. And then you come down to the 3rd one down here, which is the true swing district, 1 Democrat 1+8, and you have the Republican candidate comfortably ahead at the moment in that district. Still more votes.
Of the 3 Democratic congresswomen from Virginia, Luria is in the toughest battle.
Yes, without
Then Spanberger, then Wexton. So Spanberger, the reason to look at her seat is because if it falls, it's probably going to be a lot of other Democrats that are going to have bad nights. Can we take a look at the Senate?
Yes.
If that's okay with you.
Yes, to your point about that one, if only the Luria district fell in Virginia, you're likely to, and districts like that fall in it, you're likely to get a Republican majority because they only need a net of 5, but a smaller majority.
Right.
If the Luria districts and the Spanberger districts, meaning districts like that as you move across the country keep falling, that's how Republicans build a majority. And that's what we're going to watch.
I know.
What do we got going in Pennsylvania right now?
You'll notice people at home that Mr. Tapper is a fan of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That's all right. That's home. Home is where
Well, it is perhaps the most competitive Senate race, either this one or Florida.
Yeah. Or when we get Western Nevada, we can have a competition about it. But these are the 50-50 very competitive Senate races. And again, this is.
Oh yeah.
We have to be very careful because we're looking at overwhelmingly Democratic areas supporting votes so far. Allegheny, Pittsburgh, and the suburbs around it. John Fetterman is the lieutenant governor. He's from Braddock, which is out west here, very well known. Plus, it's a huge Democratic area to begin with. Then you move over here. This is suburbs of Cumberland County, just outside of the capital, Harrisburg.
It's R+10 district, though.
Yeah, it's R+10, but which is why you're most likely looking at an early vote count here
definitely.
as you come through it here, and then you come over here to Philadelphia. We come here where you have 91%, but it's just 11%.
It's only 11%.
Fetterman needs to keep it. It's not going to get 92% of the vote in Philadelphia, I suspect, by the time we're done. But you need to keep it way, way up. About this is interesting. If you notice where you heard Kate Baldwin earlier tonight, when Donald Trump came last to Pennsylvania, they were out here. They were out here in Westmoreland County, Latrobe, right? So let's go back to 2020 and let's look at the presidential race. Come with me here. The presidential race. When Donald Trump comes, they go here. You see why?
Yeah.
Right? So they Latrobe, Westmoreland County, that's where Oz is standing in front of Trump's plane with Trump, trying to turn it over because he needs to run it up in Trump country, Pennsylvania. Where was he last night? He was over here. Come down from Allentown, you come down here. He was in Pennsburg, which is right here, just south of Lehigh County, about 25 miles from Doylestown, which is the county seat of Bucks County, right? So let's go back to the Senate race when, in 2016, when Pat Toomey, who has this Senate seat, won re-election, right? He lost Montgomery County, but again, the margins. Look at that, right? Look at the margins there.
43.8, he lost it.
Presidential race. Look at the margins for Hillary Clinton. Right, so Pat Toomey was much more competitive in the suburbs than Donald Trump back in 2018, and Pat Toomey won Bucks County. Right, we don't have any votes in Bucks County yet. Watch this one tonight. Mehmet Oz competed. This one is the more blue collar of the suburban collars. You know this better than I do. Of the collar counties of Montgomery, right around Philadelphia.
That's
Montgomery County,
Indiana,
County, you come
folks.
back here as well to Delaware County, and you come back here just to look.
I keep telling you, it's Delco.
Delco, right. I said that last time because you told me to on television and Twitter loved it. But you come back to the results now of where we are. This is very early. No, but this is where we're going to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be right here.
Absolutely.
Can Oz win or run about even here? And can he get closer here to Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden? Because this is why, right here, is why Joe Biden won the Commonwealth. Hillary Clinton just lost it, and Joe Biden won it right here.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, again, as we're looking at in Georgia, the ticket splitting. It'll be interesting to see the people that vote for the Attorney General Shapiro, who's a Democrat, but then cross the aisle and vote for...
You heard it from CNN.
This is what county you're in?
I just switched it over.
This is the state. Okay.
This is
we obviously do not expect this to be the result, right?
Alex Bohm at the plate. He's 1-for-1 single in the second, like I said in last night's video. He's just joining me. Welcome in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Fly to right. Kyle Tucker got it. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning.
You've been working from home.
Didn't you say you would do it?
I'm gonna go check my iPad.
Whatever does that, because I think you're somehow. John, in game 2, Zach Wheeler did settle in after they ambushed him in the first inning. Then in the 5th, this guy here, Alex Bregman, went to 2-run home run. 6 of those in the World Series in his career. Swings and misses. Like one thing that Zach has done a great job. It's kind of flirting with fire, but when you're so good at doing that, it's a hitter who's so good at damage, and he's almost messing with the line because no one pitches him like that. So if you're good at get him barrel way in and say, I can put you in. Sometimes we would say, nobody gets behind fastballs in here. Fastball is fouled into the so we're 2, but see, that's good.
And what?
That's a lot of strikes. It's under 10%. Just doesn't. He was able, these 2 pitches, to get swings and misses. Really good 2-strike hitter.
Let me actually take this for a minute. And my thing, Phil. Okay. Play.
It's not where that needed to be. Set up inside. So back. See how he set up in? Set up.
That's in Bates County. Where the hell did that noise come from?
tries again. This time a spinner, and he's out in front for strike three. Third strikeout for Zach Wheeler. 2 away in the fourth. He delivers the ball. It's this bit. Seeing 97. That size, kind of swing and miss type breaking ball that you don't see a lot out of Wheeler, and he throws it. The numbers against it are awful.
I know.
2 out. You're going to face Tucker, who you said you were all you would if you're a pitcher. Now you, first time up, you had to show 10 pitches. Yeah.
Oh, I found
Again, when you're in these kind of series, you're just trying to get away from the guy's sweet spot. But you don't even mind giving a score line. You just want to stay away from, obviously, the 2 out, 2 run. Tight game. It seems like 4 runs to score. On the verge of elimination, it's a bouncing ball.
bouncing ball. Gets stuck, so throws it to Haskins. 1, 2, 3. This is the Missouri House 6th District.
Nachos, better with Pepsi. It's the biggest night of politics in the midterm elections live on Fox News. Wake up to the minute results on the state level. Watch it on November 8th. Don't miss Democracy 2022 on Fox News.
Speaking of that,
DUI.
And he's up 37 percentage points. I mean, the Ted Budd people know
He's running very competitively.
we got a lot of Ted Budd votes yet to count. Can I take a quick peek at Georgia Senate while we're at it? Just because I'm
Here, let's pull it up and we'll see where we are.
41%, it's 52%.
41% is 52-46. This one up to 99,000 votes each for Senator Warnock. Senator Warnock, obviously the Democratic incumbent. Again, we have a lot of votes to count in Georgia. This is disproportionately early vote. The key there is watch the 2 leading candidates. Someone at the end of the night above 50. That number has stayed pretty stable right there. Again, you're looking at this. This is the Georgia Senate race, and you come over to the governor's race. The Democratic candidate in the Senate race is at 52%. The Democratic candidate in the governor's race is trailing at 49% if you round that up. One of the challenges, we break this down throughout the night, how many Democrats are voting Warnock for Senate but Kemp for governor? We'll get more of that as we play it out. And again, you look at the governor's map as it is right now. We close here on the Senate map right now. Democrats still leading. This is what they want in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Ohio. But Jake, that's disproportionately early vote in the hour ahead. We will get more.
We will indeed, because we're just moments away from another chance to make projections as polling places close in Arkansas. And CNN is making a projection right now. CNN is projecting that incumbent Republican Senator Todd Young will be reelected in the state of Indiana, the Hoosier State, getting another term with Senator Todd Young. In Arkansas, it is too early to call between incumbent Senator John Bozeman and Democrat Natalie James. Too early to call at this moment right now. Let's take a look at the balance of power right now in the U.S. Senate. Democrats hold 36 seats. Republicans hold 36 seats as well. 28 seats remain. Remember, you need 51 seats to control the U.S. Senate. Republicans need to pick up 1 net seat from the Democrats in order to win control of the U.S. Senate. Let's talk about governor's races now. Boris Sanchez has more there.
Jake, with 3 projections to bring you, all 3 of them Republican holds, beginning in the state of New Hampshire. Chris Sununu, there are rumors he may run for president in 2024. Sununu winning a 4th term, defeating physician Tom Sherman. Meantime, in the state of South Carolina, not a competitive race there. The incumbent Republican Henry McMaster,
governor of South Carolina.
To win another 4 years. An update now
He's
from Tennessee.
guaranteed 4 years. Bill Lee defeats Jason Mountain for 4 years.
Winning re-election, the incumbent Republican defeating ICU physician Jason Martin. Let's get a look at some key race alerts now, beginning with that all-important race we will not stop talking about in the state of Georgia. The last
It just flipped from blue to red. Holy God. Brian Kemp is leading
with roughly 40,000 votes.
with roughly 40,000 votes.
And notably, Kemp above that 50% threshold, meaning he could avoid a runoff. Let's get a look at Texas now. Former Democratic Congressman Beto O'Rourke with a 60,000 vote advantage right now over incumbent Republican Greg Abbott. About 26% of the vote in Texas. An update now, a key race alert from the state of Michigan. Incumbent Democrat Gretchen Whitmer, I should say, locked in a tough re-election battle against conservative commentator Tudor Dixon. Right now, Whitmer sitting 55,000 votes ahead, still very, very early.
Which one sitting at 55,000 votes ahead?
We also have a key race alert to bring you from the state of Pennsylvania, where Attorney General Josh Shapiro has a 287,000 vote
Shapiro has a 2,807 vote lead as of now. 8 votes in already.
Let's turn it over to my friend Casey Hunt, who has an update for us on Senate.
And you know what, Boris? We've got some really interesting comparisons to show you. We just learned about the governor's races and where we stand here in the Senate. And let's start in Georgia, where Raphael Warnock is leading, 51.9%. Herschel Walker,
That was just for governor.
4%. Just to refresh, the governor's race looks the opposite. Kemp at 50.9, Abrams at 48.6. That really shows you the difference here in terms of performance. We got 43% of the vote in Georgia. We expect to stay close all evening. Now let's check in on North Carolina, where Sherry Beasley is at 52% to Ted Budd's 46.3%. You just heard that great breakdown from John King about where the votes are still out. There is reason for the Budd campaign to potentially be optimistic here. We're going to be sticking close to this all night. 55% of the vote in there. Now, let's go to Ohio, where Tim Ryan is out to an early lead, 56.9% to J.D. Vance's 43%, but it is still extremely early in Ohio. And, of course, this is a state that has trended very red in recent years. We've got 29% of the vote in Ohio. But now, let's go to New Hampshire, where Maggie Hassan is sitting at 60.7%. The Don Bolduc's 38.2%. Democrats in New Hampshire telling me they feel very good about where Maggie Hassan is at this hour, but of course it's extremely early. Just 14.9% of the vote has been counted in New Hampshire. But now let's check in on Pennsylvania, because we can compare these numbers here to what Boris just told us in the governor's race. John Fetterman at 80.1% to Mehmet Oz's 17.9%. Obviously, the race is going to end much closer than where it stands right now. But Shapiro is sitting at 84.5%. He's the Democratic candidate for governor. That gives you a little bit of an idea of how Fetterman is underperforming Shapiro, which has been the concern for Democrats all the way along. The potential ticket splitters, especially in the Philadelphia collar counties, would pick Mehmet Oz for Senate and Shapiro for governor. Jake.
All right, Casey, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. We've been telling you all night there are about 82 House seats that are competitive, races that are competitive, that we're really keeping an eye on, because it is in those 82 races that the balance of power in the House of Representatives will be won or lost. Let's give you an update right now. Right now, of the 23 competitive seats that are too early to call, the voting has ended, but they're too early to call. Democrats are leading in 15 of them. Republicans are leading in 8 of them. It's early yet. That doesn't necessarily mean Democrats are going to win 15 of them, but that is the state of play as of right now. Let's go over to John King at the Magic Wall to talk more about some of these House seats. Tell us what you're seeing, John.
Well, to your point, leading the vote. We're not done in these races. And again, if you're watching at home and you're a Democrat, you think, or even a Republican, Democrats are winning, right? Well, that's a better number for Democrats, maybe. And then somebody thought something that they need to do better than that in these competitive seats. So let's just come over here and remind people, in the uncalled races here, it's the ahead that matters. So we're going to come over here and we look at these competitive races. If you're the Democrats and you're looking at this map, you start in the Northeast. Number one, ranked choice voting here. And we got a long way to go in this district here. Only 2% of the vote in.
Well, Republicans are leading in Maine in the 2nd district.
Trump carried, if these were the lines in 2020, by 6 points. This is a very tough lift for a Democratic incumbent. He's done it before. So we'll see how it plays out. That's one. That would be one. This one we might not know the answer for a long time because of the ranked choice voting. So then you come down to the state of New Hampshire and you pop it up and you see 2 districts. Democrats leading in both right now, but we are very early in the count in New Hampshire. But if you're at the Democratic campaign headquarters or the Republican campaign headquarters, these ones here, you're looking at these, Republicans can get a majority without these seats. But if you're red at the end of the night, you're talking about a bigger Republican majority, which is why we'll keep an eye on these competitive races. A tenacious Democratic incumbent in a tough race. She knows the district. She knows she campaigns hard. Again, over here, a Democratic incumbent, Chris Pappas. We talked earlier, Governor Sununu is winning big in the state, right? So the question is, can all the Democrats, whether it's the Senate race or the House races, hang on in that environment? So let's pull it out, come back nationally, and drop down. I started my career in the state of Rhode Island. You see red in Rhode Island, you want to take a look at it because this district has been Democratic for a very, very long time. This is a surprising
Alan
candidate.
Fung
Very, very
is
close.
leading
State
over
treasurer,
his
former
Democratic
Alan Fung.
counterpart
Republicans, if they can pick
big
up this
time
seat, if this seat is red at the end of the night,
in Rhode Island in the 2nd district.
That majority would be rather large because this is a Democratic 13-point. Joe Biden, by the lines of this district today, would have won it by 13 points in 2020. So watch the result. About 62%. That's a very close race. We keep watching it. But if you're looking at the map, that would be a big takeaway for the Republicans. We come down here to New Jersey. This has been a race people have been looking at. Again, another Democratic incumbent who did a tough
Well, we're going to pay attention to 3 states,
Tom Malinowski ahead
Missouri,
early vote,
Wisconsin,
son, the former governor,
and
Tom Kaine,
Georgia,
11%. One of the competitors
and Florida.
Watching. Again, if you're seeing how big of a Republican night is, if they win the 1% in the marginal districts, okay, and they win the 4% districts, and then you build from there. That's how Republicans are trying to build. And then we'll just come back, and we come down in here. We come check back in 2 places. We'll do Virginia first, then we'll check Pennsylvania. And again, Republicans continue to lead. We've been checking on these because the polls closed earlier in 2 of the 3 competitive races in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Just checking on the margin one more time again. That one got closer. You have Jennifer Wexton still ahead, but Hunkow has closed that to 49% right there. We're at 90%, and we're watching it. And so think about that. Think about that. Even if Wexton pulls on to this seat, this is an 18-point Democratic advantage.
18-point Democratic lead in Virginia in the
and you
10th
have a Republican
district.
candidate at the moment with 10% of the vote out. Could change 10% in the populated suburbs here just outside of D.C. But that is a close race in a district that if you went back 2 years ago, that's not close. That tells you about the environment. You drop down here, and again, Leslie Vega, we're at 89%, a little shy here in a district. This is a Democrat +7 district, and you have the Republican candidate ahead by 4 or 5 points. 5 points if you do just a shy shade of it, and then you come down here. Again, we talked about this before. The most vulnerable Democrat in the Commonwealth of Virginia is Elaine Luria.
Brian Loya is losing 88,000 votes.
People at home might start to get confused. What it means is we're starting to fill in the map. Democrats are leading in 18 of these competitive districts, which means they're leading at the moment in more competitive districts, which is good news, but it's not good enough news in the sense that Democrats have to win 2/3 of the competitive races to have a chance of the House majority.
Also, I would imagine that some of this is early vote.
Yes.
Meaning that the Democrats are leading right now because Democrats disproportionately vote early, vote by mail, etc.
Without a doubt, that's what's happening here. Just to illustrate your point, I bring up Ohio, and I just want to check if the vote count has gone. It's gone up some, but not much. About a third of the vote now. Marcy Kaptur, again, her district used to be cut off about here and come east. They added Republican areas, the Ohio legislature, Ohio governor, Republican legislature. They added seats here. But she's up comfortably at the moment, but it's a third of the vote, so we want to see. And this would be news down here, in that this is a Republican incumbent, Steve Chabot, Cincinnati.
Steve Chabot is losing to Greg Mansman by 6,300, 64,000 votes or more.
Right now, 27 of them, the polls have closed, and CNN is saying they're too early to call. 18 of those seats, Democrats are leading in of the 27. So Democrats are leading in 18 of the 27 competitive seats.
9 seats are Republican-led counties in the state.
Early vote. We don't know what's going to happen. This does not mean the Democrats are going to win 18 of the 27. But this is some reason for hope if you're a Democrat watching at home.
It's some reason for hope that at least you're competitive, and you hope maybe as you move further west you get more. There's a challenge for the Democrats. The House.
Let me
go back to the House where we are today. Turn off the competitive seats. Again, the lines are different this time, so in some ways it's still tad misleading to show it. But But the basic math is not that you have 220 Democrats and 212 Republicans in the House today. And so the challenge is Republicans need only a net gain of 5. So when you come back to this year and where you're looking at this, and this is all of the races right now, you only need a net gain of 5. And in those competitive races, 57 of them are Democratic incumbents, so and only 22 Republican incumbents. Joe Biden, of the 82 competitive districts, when we put them up on the map, and let me just bring those up to highlight them. Of these 82 competitive districts, Joe Biden carried 60 of them 2 years ago, or would have if the lines had been as they are this year in 2020. Joe Biden would have carried 60. So the fact that the Democrats essentially need to win those 60.
This is who's leading in Missouri's 3rd district. If you're watching on the computer,
yes. Competitive enough. Looking at this map, early, we're not done. My instinct is probably not.
So put up the House of Representatives as it stands today, because I want to show something to people. If we can zoom in on New England right now, okay? I can stretch it out. Stretch it out for us. Can you do that? There we go. Okay. New England is entirely blue, right? We're not counting about New York. We're not counting New York, which is here, and we're not counting New York, which is here. It's entirely blue. But as you pointed out, right now in Rhode Island, where you started out as a reporter,
come forward.
It's red.
And you look some red. And now that Cape Cod district, there's a few votes in. That's Bill Keating's district, Democratic district. If that stays red, then we're having a huge Republican night. But that Rhode Island seat, those results are real. You come in here, all the results are real. I shouldn't even use that kind of language in this environment. I just mean contextual. You're up to 70% of the vote here. What I meant by that is that if you come to this district here, you're looking at a tiny number of votes.
Right.
Tiny number of votes. So it's not contextual yet. I need to be careful in this environment about the word we use.
My point is just that your point about
But my point is,
we haven't called anything
the Republican
New England, which is
3rd district House of Representatives is leading by
all early, but I'm just saying the fact that it's even competitive.
Right,
357,000 votes.
Seth Magazine is the state treasurer. Alan Fung was the mayor of Cranston.
And how many are in?
I saw the process. I'm sorry. This is where I started my career. He was a popular mayor. He picked up the trash. They filled the potholes. And so you have a popular mayor running against the Democrats.
He was the only problem I see.
His dad was very prominent in Rhode Island.
You know Nancy Pelosi?
Years ago. But it's inflation. It's the national environment and a competitive somebody who is well known.
Come on over.
Predominantly white, blue collar, working district. And again, remember those words, right? Predominantly white, working class district. Used to be Democratic. We've seen in other parts of the country they're trending Republican. We're not done here yet, but that's something to watch. We're going to be analyzing. You get telling in the room, a lot of coffee, go through the exit polls for weeks and weeks after this. If that holds.
All right, we're going to get another big round of results straight ahead, including the high stakes contest for senator and governor in Arizona. That's coming up after a break. Stay with us.
With my hectic life, you think retirement would be the last thing on my mind.
I will.
Voya provides comprehensive solutions and shows me how to get the most out of my workplace benefits. Voya helps me feel like I got it all under control. Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
Tonight will be madness. Every team they are. The winter play was really coming together until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Hardy could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
My name is Austin James. As a musician living with diabetes, finger sticks can be a real challenge. That's why I use the Freestyle Libre 2 system. With a painless 1-second scan, I know my glucose numbers without finger sticks. Now I'm managing my diabetes better.
Here's a key race.
8.2 to 6.7.
Take the mystery out of managing.
Mills is the projected winner.
Now you know. Try it for free at Freestyle.
Florida winner. I'll be right back, folks.
You're loud.
I will put this on mute, the stream, but you guys will still be able to see the stream.
Salutes on the governor's races.
Yeah, a handful of races was beginning in the state of Texas. There, the incumbent Republican Greg Abbott maintaining a lead over former Congressman, former Senate and White House hopeful Beto O'Rourke. Right now, Abbott leading by 80,000 votes with 51% of the vote in Texas as he seeks a third term. Let's get an update now from the Peach State in Georgia. There, incumbent Republican Brian Kemp maintaining a slight advantage over Stacey Abrams. Though the 90,000 vote difference between the two is a bigger margin than when Kemp won by 4 years ago. Keep that in mind. 64% of the vote, and he maintains an advantage over that 50% threshold. In Pennsylvania, Attorney General Josh Shapiro, 324,000 votes ahead.
That's the governor's race right there.
15% of the vote there in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Let's get an update now. Key race alert from the state of Michigan. Incumbent Democrat Gretchen Whitmer currently leading conservative commentator Tudor Dixon, an election denier as well, 11% of the vote. And we just got an update. It appears Whitmer is 37-ish thousand votes ahead as we get an update from Michigan. Let's take a look at a race that nobody expected would be as close as it was at the end. Incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul running for her full first term in office. She currently leads considerably over Congressman from Long Island and election denier Lee Zeldin, 265,000 votes as we just got the update from the Empire State, a 9% of the vote in right now in the state of New York. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Boris, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Let's take a look right now at the governor's races playing out. Some of them are playing out as we expected. Some of them are a lot different.
It's early. Among the governor's races out there, again, a handful of states that are absolutely key presidential battlegrounds. 2024, every governor's race matters every year, but they matter a lot more this year. Supreme Court Senate abortion rights back to the states. So let's go through some of those as we go. Forrest ended on this one, so let's just look. I want to make the point here that we're just very, very early, right? A surprisingly close race in the polling. We'll see what turns out on Election Day. Crime, a huge issue here. Kathy Hochul trying to win a full term for the first time. But the votes in so far, largely from down here in the New York City area, and a very tiny percent of the vote. You know, we're looking at Queens here. We're looking at the Bronx. We walk through Manhattan as you come over here. That's the early votes coming in there. So we have a long way to go. Long way to go in the state of New York.
Yeah, this race is much more competitive than that would indicate. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we move over to Michigan again. This has been a competitive race as well. We're only at 11% of the vote. You're watching the map. For me, it's just as the map filling in as one would expect. And you look at it, and the answer is yes. We'll see somewhere out here, you know, Kent County, Grand Rapids, out this way. If Republicans do well here, they're competitive statewide, but it's only 3% of the vote. We'll see how this plays out. And then you come over here. This election will be decided. Wayne County is.
I don't know what the hell happened on my other show.
Zero. Oh, it's in. It's 18% of the vote in Detroit. Tends to come in a little bit later in the other part of the state. This is where they'll.
I don't see.
If you go back 25 years, this is a more Republican suburb, but this is where you have your upscale, college-educated voters who have become more and more
Get what the hell I'm saying.
50%, that's what Gretchen Whitmer needs to do. It's only 40%. And then we'll wait for here. This is Macomb County.
Have you ever had one of those fucking brain freezes?
Just north of suburbs when you come up here, and we'll see how this one comes in.
Once I think about it,
did well in Macomb County.
I'll let you guys
Back to
know.
the 1980s, this is where all the studies were done. The Democratic polls were streamed.
Right, the Reagan Democrats.
Reagan Democrats.
Right.
So we'll watch. We have a long way to go in Michigan. So as you move out here, you come this way. This is interesting because this would be, again, a very modest number of
Now, Wisconsin,
from a critical suburb, mind you.
Tim M. and Tony Evans, Wisconsin, is too early to call because there's not enough votes.
Or out west, exurban, rural, it gets more Republican, but it's very early here. Tony Evers, the Democratic incumbent, again, Tim Michaels, near the end of the campaign, said, if you elect me, no Republicans will ever lose again in Wisconsin, which brings the democracy question into play very early. We'll watch this.
I know.
But again, key presidential battleground.
Very key presidential battleground. Wisconsin, Georgia, Missouri.
Kansas has a Democratic governor. Kansas, remember, after Dobbs, had the big referendum where Kansas voters, common sense conservatives, said
This is partially early voting.
Allowing more abortion restrictions. It'll be interesting to see. This is very early. You say 35% of the estimated vote, but if you're looking out here,
35. Yeah,
this
well,
at the end of the night will be
I think
red,
that's some of
whereas
that's early voting.
Where are the votes so far? Well, again,
God damn it. Where's my shoulder?
we're closer to Kansas,
Yeah.
Missouri here. Johnson County,
No.
That county. These are the Kansas
Wake
City
County
suburbs.
for governor
And
race.
then you're moving into the Democratic area of Lawrence, Kansas. That's Douglas County. That's the fifth
Got my
largest
soda.
county. Democrat by 40 points, right? So you think Kansas is a red state, but it has a Democratic governor. This is a 40-point county for Joe Biden. You come over to
No.
the Topeka area. It was a Democrat +3.
Republicans 104.
Obviously. So we'll see. Can Laura Kelly hold on in the state of Kansas? That's a big test.
Can Laura Kelly hold on to the state of Kansas?
In this time of year. Then you move up here to Nebraska. 23% of the vote. The Democrat is leading, but slow down in the sense that look at where the vote's coming in. Omaha, Lincoln.
I don't know if I will project the one on this channel, but I know I will try my best.
To still come in. A race that Republicans had hoped to make more competitive at the moment, with about 40% of the vote in. The incumbent Democrat Jared Polis leading at the moment in Colorado. Interesting to watch if that plays out in tandem with the Senate race. We talked about that dynamic in Georgia, in New Hampshire. In other words, what happens to the governor vis-a-vis the Senate candidate in Colorado? They are both of the same party. Then we come down, just one more quick one, in New Mexico. The governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, running comfortably ahead, but very early votes coming in so far, Jake, only in Democratic areas. But the governor's race is, again, always critical for state issues, all the more important for the threats to democracy.
Now, some of you may be asking me, why the hell am I doing this right about fucking now? Oh boy. Arkansas, John Bonzo defeats Nathan James. He'll be reelected for Arkansas. Peter Welch will be Vermont Senator.
Of Vermont in an open seat, defeating Gerald Malloy. Let's take a look at the overall balance of power in the 100-seat U.S. Senate. Democrats currently control 38 seats. Republicans currently control 39 seats. 23 seats are remaining. We also have a key race alert that we're going to go to Casey Hunt right now. Casey?
That's right, Dick. We're going to take a quick spin through all of these races for you. We got a whole bunch of vote in. We got Raphael Warnock sitting at 51% right now.
The wheel see, I'm on my iPad right now.
He is, of course, right now above.
So if you come over to my iPad, you'll see me.
A runoff, keeping close tabs move back and forth here in the last hour or so. 65% of the voting.
If that explains.
Now let's check in on Ohio, where J.D. Vance still
I got,
lead, but it's close. 50.3%.
Hang on. I'm in Missouri, come.
Gonna need to walk us
Let me show you.
where the votes are still out to let us know if it's actually going to end up being that close.
Let me go.
Of the vote in there. Now,
Yeah.
in North Carolina, look at this. Ted Budd sitting at 50%.
Crap, too damn fucking far.
48%. This is actually a little bit of a
This
record.
is the state I'm in. This is who's running.
In North Carolina. All right, let's move now to New Hampshire, where we've got Maggie Hassan sitting
Now,
at 57.8%. Don Bolduc sitting at 40.9%. Smart Republicans and Democrats that I'm talking to who are looking at these numbers today. Hassan is in a very strong position at this hour, but of course we only have 30% of the vote in, so keep an eye on
Only
that one.
30%.
Now let's go out to Colorado. This again, a reach for Republicans. Michael Bennett at 58.6%.
Really?
To
They only
Joe
say a fucking reach.
39.2% at this hour, but of course we do need to know where the votes are coming in because we're only looking at 40% of them so far. Now let's check in on Wisconsin.
Ron Johnson is behind 41,000 votes. And that's just the only vote.
Who sits at 29.8% right now. I'm sure John King can explain to us why it looks that way. There's about 40% of the vote in right now in Wisconsin. Now I want to check in on Iowa, another unexpected place on the map, but it was an Iowa poll late in the cycle from a very trustworthy pollster out there that showed Chuck Grassley, the incumbent Republican, in a tight race with Democrat.
Now, here's the only problem.
And some early returns.
Can Republic hold the lead and take back? I'll show you guys the.
Only have 11% in. Let's also dip in.
Here's the Senate key race. Johnson, the incumbent Republican, and Baines, the current Democratic, and he's ahead about 40,000 votes to Johnson, and Johnson's behind 40,000 votes. And here's Milwaukee. Johnson's leading in Waukesha County. He will,
First, let's start in the state of Texas. There we have an update. Incumbent Republican Greg Abbott building on the early
Greg Abbott in Texas. for governor is building on the lead. Ahead 1,409 votes.
52% of the vote in there.
Bet
Let's take a look at the
or
state of
rookie
Georgia. Brian Kemp right now with 111,000 vote advantage over Stacey Abrams. 66% of the vote in.
Here is another
50%
Senate and House seat.
Avoid a runoff if this holds. And we just got an update there. Now 115,000 vote lead for Kemp.
115 governor lead in Georgia.
Locked in this tough re-election battle with conservative commentator, former TV host Tudor Dixon. A 42,000 vote advantage for Whitmer.
42,000
lead right now.
vote lead for Gretchen over Dixon.
Let's get an update for you from Pennsylvania. There, the Attorney General, Josh Shapiro.
Let me know who you voted for. You eating pizza again? What happened? Well, I'll tell you. Georgia flipped 3 times. Texas flipped 3 times. Florida flipped 3 times. If you don't know what I mean by that, is it's a key battleground state.
The sitting Attorney General running
I gotta find that remote again.
against a state legislator.
What it means is, it's, well, if you ever go to Poland on the news and you hear them say it's a key battleground state, well, it's kind of like a football game, all except for it's trying to get people out there to basically vote for you, and your party. The current state I am showing everybody is basically a key battleground state, and that'll either help flip or
Donald Trump won it just barely in 2016 when he won the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Give more criticism to. I don't want to start a fight here, but
it is never like
the
that.
Democrats.
Even if Josh Shapiro was so big,
If you got a problem with that, take it up with the Democrats.
You're looking at early votes.
Because I ain't about to explain.
Somewhere else you look here, you obviously
That's a different topic.
to see what votes
And a whole different issue.
13% of the vote in. You see Josh Shapiro at 90%.
Because
the Democrats most likely will be overwhelmingly
never get
up when we get to Philadelphia's final count.
feet correct.
If he's up by that much,
Now,
then we have a blowout on our hands. If he is up by that much,
if you guys remember when the presidential election was for the governor race in Georgia, they had a one-off which, you eat pizza again?
That would be
Damn right you all. Lucky son of a bitch.
You're looking disproportionately at early votes. And so this
Yeah, the real C. I know. I should order pizza, shouldn't I? Now, out in Colorado, yeah. Now, let me explain something. You may hear me say it's a red state or blue state.
You just bring it over to the Senate race now.
Is this seat broke again?
Underperforming his Democratic ticket mate, if you will. They're both statewide office holders, by the way.
Graphics planner and whatchamacallit. Hang on. Let me turn on some baseball here. Or something else then. I'll come back to this here shortly. And yeah, flip it. Good. I ain't gone. Duh.
Possession charge, criminal charge, level on it.
More jobs and lower taxes, or bigger government and higher inflation? That's Missouri's choice this year. Trudy Bush Valentine will be a rubber stamp for Joe Biden. $55,000 in donations for Hurricane Rita.
Hurricane relief, 60-some thousand bucks. 0. Bottom of 6. Oh, I see what solution.
And speaking
Aha.
of heat,
On the clock.
the only other left-handed pitcher to strike out 5 in a row in themselves. What are you doing?
Trying to fix a seat. I wanna. Even though I already know who wins, it's enjoyable. It's better than half the time listening to what the hell Joe Biden has to say. Ha! Ouch! Yeah.
Well, when was the time with those mechanics you shouldn't have trouble
Right.
getting strikes?
There's still on this side.
Every once in a while, he takes the that's for the sinker, almost as trying to
Hey, electrician!
firing that two-seamer in the zone.
Ouch! My head. Oh. I'm getting way too damn old. Well, this thing is way too damn.
This telecast is sponsored by Chevrolet. Electric vehicles for everyone, everywhere.
I'm back.
People get jobs.
I know why the fucking cheese. There's a schoolman. Son of a bitch. That's what I said too.
Some quick outs in this fifth. So who had best swing of the day for the Phillies and just missed a home run. Sure did.
Now, after I get this dog off.
Alvarez later found it against the wall. Just beyond the boxes.
1-2, fifth inning. In there for strike.
To a 0-0 game out of the next game. Down 2. Ultimately won 19-0. Two pitchers doing this right. There's a few to 2 saying, scratch a run. Late will work.
Oh, 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike.
Starts last year. 5 runs in both games against Atlanta. Filled an 8 through 30 in the A year later, game 2, 6 and a third, just 1 run. Game 6, 4 2/3.
I know.
Another 0-2 pitch. It's because they don't have the field. It's not every baseball is particularly standard. Stitching is too hard. It's always sweating pretty good, just trying to lose control over everything. Have another potential clean in. There's 1-2. Shows you guys that you're talking about the mix of Valdez. This is why it's so hard. He's not very tall, but he throws the ball. The ball comes out of that same slot. You have no idea. You have no idea right there until the end. You have no idea what it is. You're trying to guess it's good. That's why they have 5 swings of this zone.
Swing and a miss by Soto. I'm gonna stop the next one on the computer, okay, folks?